Alright, happy stream viewers, I'm still Lorenzo and I'm back again. Not with XCOM 2 this time, but with some good old Kerbal Space Program. If you've been living under a rock for the past few weeks, you don't yet know that the version 1.1 release is currently in pre-release, and much as it was in the days before, I think it was 0.17 which first had closed experimentals, but that's a wild guess. I was in the experimental testing group back then, back in the old days. Anyway, the pre-release is now open for anyone who wants it. You can just go into your Steam library to and enable beta access. I think it's just a menu. You don't have to fill out applications. You don't have to talk to people. You can just say, yes, I want this horrible, buggy, unstable, but newer version, and help test it. And then you can go ahead and play around with it. So I recommend you do if you like that. If you don't, don't. Anyway, we are going to do just that today. We have the new version, it's all set up, and we are going to play the career mode. Now this is new for two reasons. Obviously, as I've just been saying, it's 1.1, which is all new and stuff. But also, I have not been playing this game for the past few months. There was XCOM. I can't really say anything else. So I've missed the past few updates. If you follow the YouTube channel, you know this because there haven't been any videos. My save with space bases on the moon and on Minmus mostly, they kind of crashed, and that got me to, well, kind of lose my game mojo. Anyway, we're going to go for a career mode, and as much as I always like to play super duper hard mode, oh my god, look at us struggle, I'm just not going to do that. I'm going to go normal, because the game is about space flight, building rockets, and going places, and putting it like this makes it just about doing the same things around Kerbin over and over again. Maybe they changed it, but it's hard, because if you want a sandbox game with gradually unlocking parts, basically the only way to make it harder is to make it longer, and this is not very compatible with a nice content filled stream. So we're gonna go for normal difficulty, not feel ashamed about it, and call this if I can have the power to rename this, please, I would appreciate that. Apparently I found a bug. You're forced to name your save game default. Also, that can't be right. Hello, I can write something, but if I then click career, can I then call it livestream? Yeah, I can, but if I go into the difficulty options, go hard, normal, accept, I can still modify it. Okay, I cannot reproduce the bug, so I will not report it. There's my cop out. Anyway, live stream, let's click a flag, let's get the trippy flag, because we're crazy Kerbals. And here we go. Into the game we go. Welcome back, Corey. I'm just starting KSP, you didn't miss a lot. And here we go. Let's see, this is the new UI where you can click on these buttons rather than hunt in the buildings. I'm liking that. What do we get? Warp to next morning. We had that already, but it was in a different place. We get the rocket manual. Well, we don't need that because we're pro spaceman, but it's probably really nice to read through here. You know, scanning resources, it's nicely illustrated. I friggin' love this. This is just marvelous. This is an in-game Wikipedia of coolness, and I cannot help but endorse it a lot. So what do we want to do? We want to start doing science, so we're going to start in the science building. We're going to start at the flagpole. Oh, you can just choose your flag. Let's see, research and development. We have 0 science points, so we can start with a basic fin, a pod, a booster, a glue container, a girder segment, and a parachute. So that does really not leave a lot of room for doing things, eh? Let's see, the runway, research and development, mission control. Does this give us the missions? Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna accept all of these. How many can we accept? 2. Just a quick crew report before launching. It's fine if any of the lights on the control panel are flashing, just give it a swift kick. This is really super easy. This is just like learn the tutorial. Alright, we'll learn the buttons. We'll basically launch the first vessel. Cool. I got the trippy flag as well, so we're apparently very similar people. Let's grab 1,000,000 engines. I remember a forum challenge back when I still read the forum. Jesus, I sound really old. I don't mean to sound so old and bitter all the time. Sorry. Where we made SRB propelled contraptions with no separators. We had a that was before career mode was implemented, and I ran a Excel based spreadsheet campaign where people would submit craft and I would fly them, and it would be fun, and it would be a lot of work, but it would be fun, and I would track how much funds everyone had, and it was actually pretty cool. It was also so many friggin' years ago. Alright, I am super old, I'm just gonna own it. I've lived a long time and I have memories of the development of a spacecraft building video game. If that is not a sign of it being the 21st century, I don't know. Anyway, we will call this guy the Guy 1 because I'm out of inspiration. Oh, and we of course need to pack some science on it. No, we have crew reports. But science. It costs 800. It will unbalance the craft and we'll stick it here. Boom. Guy 1, save it, launch it. Right, let's fulfill the terms of our agreement. Let's give it a crew report. Oh shit, we can't transmit it because I didn't give it an antenna. I don't know if we even have an antenna, to be honest. Well, we observed the mystery goo, so we did that. Jebediah completed the objectives. And now he just needs to step out of the craft and walk home. But he can't help but fire the ejector seats, which in this rocket are powered by solid rocket boosters under the actual ship. So he's going up. And now he's wondering what to do next. And he's almost stopping going up, so he kicks the panel again, and then this happens. He's going up again, and it's quite fast actually, at about 6 Gs. Jebediah doesn't know what Gs are, so it doesn't really matter. And now he wants to try steering the ship, but he can't because there's too much aerodynamic force around him. But he's slowed down by those very same forces, so that allows steering. And he'll fire his last SRB to end up over the ocean to see the new shiny water effects. So yeah, we have Jebediah going around in the sky. And now he'll soon fall down. So that was our first flight. I hope it yields us lots of science points. This trippy flag is not that trippy actually, it's not just a lot of color blobs. Anyway, our boosters are spent. Specific impulse is going down, but they're not firing anymore, so it doesn't really matter. Specific impulse reading, by the way, is going down because the atmospheric pressure is increasing, causing the jet of rocket fuel that's coming out to have more resistance in expanding it. Basically, it needs to push the atmosphere away, which costs energy, and that takes away from the amount of energy available to propel the craft upwards. That's why, in a nutshell, specific impulse is usually higher in a vacuum than it is in a atmosphere. And if you have to be in an atmosphere, it is higher, the specific impulse, so the efficiency of your rocket is higher if the atmosphere is thinner. So really you want to get out of that thick atmosphere as soon as possible. You also want to deploy your parachutes when you're headed towards a ocean crash, so let's do that. So this is so nice and relaxed after that Advent alien fighting. Oh my god, just drifting down the parachute to a watery splash. Hopefully not a grave, but oh, we're underwater physics, or at least graphics. Amazing. Recover the vessel and its science. Now remember we got our science reports from the launch pad. This Jebediah flight was solely for shits and giggles. Anyway, research and development. We're gonna get some more better rockets. Can we get separators yet? Here we got the Communitron. We get both. And then we have 9.5 science remaining, and we can't get anything else. So now we got a better engine, a better booster, a tank, nice to have with the engine, And we have some utility. More science, a communitron, and a separator. So now we can build a serious rocket. Let's go to the mission control building, which we now don't have to hunt for anymore. We just have to remember the corresponding icon. And now we just got a shitload of missions. Holy shit. Conduct a focused observational survey of Kerbin. Go to the designated test site. Can we see where that is beforehand? Take a crew report in flight above 19,100 meters near Kerbin's passage. This seems like a nicer job for an airplane. Haul RT-10 Hammer solid fuel booster into flight above Kerbin. We don't need to light it, we just need to have it. Alright, we can do that. The location doesn't matter. We need to go between 12 and 19 kilometers. Yeah, we can do that. And we need to test. We need to activate the parachute at between 8 and 2 kilometers, between 110 and 280 meters per second. Yeah, sounds like something we can definitely do. And then after that we will escape the atmosphere and orbit Kerbin. Sounds like a plan? I think so. Boom. So we're gonna build a rocket to do these things. They're fairly similar to previous missions, but they are, I mean, the mission to just have the booster, that one is definitely new. The hammer, so we're gonna just have this one. We're gonna have it almost empty because this will just be a trophy booster. We won't actually be using it because we are working with fairly specific altitude and speed limitations. We want a throttleable engine so that we may control our speed and altitude a little bit better. Do we get fins? I have a feeling we might need some fins with this. Let's have that on toggle snap. Boom, fins. And let's grab the engine, which is also gimbalable. So yeah, I'm feeling good about this. Yeah, this doesn't do anything, so it can activate. And here we have our test rod. Cool, let's launch it, and I'm hoping that there is a nice way to show what the objectives were beforehand. Are we rotating? No, that's just some frame glitching. Let's see, this is contract complete, launch our first vessel. Oh, we broke a lot of speed records. Cool. We have some solid fuel. Oh, we didn't actually have it completely empty. Okay. Contracts. I still wish I could make this larger. I can make this larger. Alright then. So my goal is to get above 12 kilometers and not go too fast. Well, can do, Commander. Here we go. SAS on. We will have a slight retrograde aspect to our flight just to see a little bit of the land. No, this isn't too long. Chat saying this is too long. Well, remember, it's not mandatory to burn up the whole rocket. We can shut it down and just parachute down. We just need to have... Yeah, this is our speed window for the way back. Basically, why I want this rocket to have some fuel in it is that our speed is very likely to be higher on the way down, and we will not aerobrake before the altitude of 8 kilometers to under 280 meters per second, I don't think. So I want the engine to be able to brake a little bit and then activate the parachute. That's the only reason why I brought so much fuel. So we are almost going too fast for our SRB test actually, which is now successful. Hooray. Aerodynamic forces are turning us over. This could be a problem with my I want to use the rocket to brake scenario. This is also, by the way, why SpaceX's landing of rockets has been monumental. They have recently successfully landed on a barge in the ocean, which is super hard because barges are small and oceans are huge, and rockets are really fast and fragile, and they're a pain in the butt to fly backwards. I mean, all of these things he nailed after a few years and a big massive multi-billion company, but you know, still really freaking impressive, and I do hope that that capability will enable all sorts of cool stuff. And well, ever since I was a kid, I've given up the dream of going into space. Yeah, I can just kind of follow the headlines on our interwebs. Perhaps a little bit depressing, but hey, it makes for a nice reading in between the number crunching. See, this is what I meant. We're going faster than our test speed, and this is why we have a rocket. So we're going to fire that, decelerate to under our test speed, and now trigger our parachute. Wait, 2000 to 8000, speed between 280, so I need to slow down a little bit more, and then ditch everything I have. Whoa, no! Oh, shit. Did that booster slowed me down far too much. Oh, that booster that wasn't empty. Oh, snap. Yeah, that probably failed that one contract. Because the booster wasn't empty. Anyway, oh, maybe it didn't. Can we reactivate it? Cut parachute? No, that's not reactivate. Anyway, we will be coming back down through an atmosphere again. This just means we won't be able to... we'll just relaunch really quickly and just immediately apply the parachute. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. First of all, we need to get down to the ground level though, which takes a long time if you just have a capsule on a parachute, apparently. Who would have known? I still don't dare hit the ground at 4 times physical time warp. I must say, the ground, it looks softer. It looks like actual fake grass now rather than just a green texture. But that may be my false memories. I don't know if this actually was changed. Alright, recover vessel. There we go. Another research milestone in the bag. Oh, I didn't do a crew report or anything. I am quite out of training. Alright, let's quickly finish up that parachute contract. We surely don't need most of these tanks. Here we go, launch. Let's throttle back, we don't need to be going that fast. Do the parachute first so we can have good control of when that happens. It happens now. And that should have done the contract. We have returned to the surface, that's a good achievement. But also, maybe more importantly, I think... No way, I did it. You saw it. You guys saw this. I did it. But it's not recognizing it. Maybe I shouldn't activate it through staging, but I should like hit test. For now though, I might also need to burn off a little bit of fuel before this parachute will be able to slow me down enough. Let's try a small powered landing. Oops. Oh well, that was just the engine. We shall try this again. And we got some science. I don't know why I'm here now. I don't know why I'm here now. We will just fly this again. Because I can't stand it. I can't stand it when things don't go my way. Alright, we're not gonna go over 280 meters per second. We're gonna keep at like 250. This is the good. Why does it not count if I test it now? And now it did. Great, we got the contract. Wonderful. 3 science points, lots and lots of good stuff. Let's time warp all the way back and try and land this baby right on that launch pad. We're going really fast. This parachute is not gonna save us. But the rocket is. Is it? It is. Whoa, that was a good braking burn. Yeah, we got the whole craft back. Recover for more monies. Alright, science in the bag. Now we need to go to the R&D building again. We still don't have enough for the good bits, but we're gonna go orbital now. R&D. No, not R&D, I mean mission control. We are gonna go escape the atmosphere and orbit Kerbin. It's a challenge, accepted. It's too bad that we have only the very, very small tanks, but that's, you know, that makes it a better challenge. No, that's not what I want to say. That makes it a more important test of the engine, the game engine, because this is a lot of parts. This is really a lot of parts. And let's go engine here. I actually don't have radial decouplers, so I am going to add a shit ton of boosters, like so. Yeah, this should be fun. And of course I need some science payload. And an antenna. I don't have batteries on board, I don't think, because this technology is not available to me yet. But this should orbit Buster. This should go well, I reckon. Unable to launch. Oh shit, this is so many parts. Only 34? Alright, we will reduce this to 2 boosters. No, 4 boosters. And 2 less fuel canisters. Oh, the mass is still too big. Oh, damn it, maybe we won't be able to reach orbit. Maybe we will reach orbit. Is this good with the mass? No, the RTs are too heavy. Can I have 1 RT? I can have 1 RT, but now it's too bloody high. This is a problem. The mass is 18 tons. How much thrust does this have? This has... Ooh, this is almost useless. It has almost 200 kilonewtons, and that will lift 20 tons, so 18 tons is gonna lift really, really slowly. Let's see if we can upgrade this building. Do we have enough funds for that? I don't think so, but we didn't put it on super hard. Yeah, we do have enough funds for that, but then we don't have enough funds for the rocket. We already accepted the contract, so we have to do it with what we have. This rocket costs 8,000. Oh shit, we may be screwed. Alright, we will ditch the boosters entirely. How much is this? This is enough. We will re-add the 2 fuel canisters. We will actually add 2 more fuel canisters until we reach the maximum allowable noodly limit. This is 30 parts, 16.6 tons, 19.9 meters. This will do. This will do. Go. Don't worry, Corey. Failing at typing is not a severe impairment. Failing to launch, however, is a severe impairment. We're very, very, very slowly lifting off here. I must say I am now doubting our shot for orbit quite a bit. This could perhaps be improved upon. And we're very noodly indeed. Oh, however, we will get a cashback from 1 contract if we just escape the atmosphere, and that should certainly be doable here. Then we can upgrade our space building, and then we will be able to design a proper rocket that will, you know, not be such a pain in the ass. Reserve materials bay. If I transmit it, it will remain in. It will go inoperable or not? Yeah, so we're not going to transmit it from here. Actually, we might as well. No, we're going to keep it. Oh, we can't go on EVA yet, can we? So we can't return it, so we're going to transmit it. Yeah. Alright. Module is now inoperative. We're going to take a crew report as well. We already had that. In other news, we are finally starting our noodly ascent. We're not quite going fast enough to have aerodynamic stabilization, or destabilization if I should worry about such things. But we are now going at Mach 1. Yeah, I'm pretty certain we won't reach orbit today. But I'm also pretty certain we will actually escape the atmosphere today. Because this is the first rocket that has a actual proper, honest to God, second stage attached. And that's here. It is carrying a materials bay for some extra weight and challenge, and I could have swapped that out for fuel tanks, I now realize. But that will probably have to happen on our orbit vessel. Oh, we also have science to unlock more parts, so yeah, our next rocket is definitely going to be orbit capable, no question about it. 600 meters per second at 23 kilometers, pretty good profile if I do say so myself. We might... Am I going to be optimistic? Are we going to make orbit after all? We may, perhaps. We could. Anyway, let's ditch that stage. See it drift away, gently tumbling in the stratospheric winds, and light the second engine. Here we go. Yeah, opinion changed. We are definitely going to make orbit today. This engine is accelerating us really hard. 5 Gs. Going for 6. Our problem may be reaching orbital velocity before even leaving the atmosphere. That could be a problem. I'm going to stop thrusting here because we're going too darn fast. Do we need a new crew report? Yeah, and we can transmit that, and then the engine will recharge our batteries in just a second. Look at that. Our launch area, that's not our launch area, that's our spent stage. The launch area is right over there, getting smaller by the second. And we're out of the atmosphere. We have done our contract. We've received money. We have received a lot of money for altitude and speed records. Let's see. We can't have maneuver notes yet because we are not awesome enough for that. We can, however, get a crew report and transmit that home. For this, we will need aborting transmission. No, I want you to transmit it afterwards when we regain electric power because of our engine burn. Our engine burn that's happening right now. And without engine power we also don't have turning authority. And what we don't want to have happen is have Jebediah stuck in space forever. That would not be good. What we do want to happen is have an orbit established. So that was a hard burn. Nah, we're still not in orbit yet. And now we're out of fuel, so now I hope we're not in orbit yet. We also have recharged our batteries, and we'll transmit the data. Yeah, the data has been transferred, so now it doesn't matter if Jebediah gets stuck in space. Actually, that's a joke. But we will time warp. Actually, he didn't make orbit, but it was a darn close thing. We're gonna land at the night side of things, and we have a little bit of electric power to turn our ship around. But of course, what we don't have is a heat shield, because, well, we have a heat shield that's integrated with the pod here. So we're going to try and keep our nice... No, we're going to ditch the service module now. And now we're going to trust in the heat shield of our command pod. And also in its aerodynamic stability, because it is completely dead. There is no power for anything. We cannot disembark from a vehicle because we haven't researched doors. And we are now going to see whether the built-in heat shield is any good. Actually, it doesn't have any ablation. It may not be strong enough for this. that would be a little bit of a disappointment, but it would mean you need to be careful with your orbits before you get some heat shield parts to put on your thing. This bar is pretty ominous. Something else has exploded. Parts over there. We are heating up quite a lot. Oh, oh, this is this the, is this the crew pod and this the antenna? Yeah, this is not looking good. Jebediah might be cooked here. In the last version I played, the command pod Mark 1, this one, was actually capable of a singular re-entry. No, not a singular, a unassisted re-entry. And it still appears to be, if only just. If only just. So we are at 8 kilometers now, going for 500 meters per second. Let's see, ooh, a land distance record broken. Yeah, I assume so. And here we're landing somewhere off the coast of somewhere. I don't know where, but should be okay. We can deploy our parachute. I hope. That was subsonic. We should be fine. We should be so fine that we can time warp forwards without much fear. 10 seconds till ocean impact. And we're slowing down so it takes longer. And now we can cram the time warp up and we can start putting together an honest to god orbital space rocket. Oh my god, let's do this. So far the career gameplay hasn't really changed much from the previous versions. I mean, the contracts have been shuffled around a little bit and you get speed records, although I think that was in before the 1.1 version also already. Alright Corey, see you later. I'm not gonna be streaming for a long time. I'm going to do the orbital rocket and then call it a night as well, I think. Thanks for hopping in. See you around for sure, and you have to check the XCOM streams that are coming up, because your guy is out of sickbay, and you probably want to see how Zombo gets along with the aliens and his crewmates. So good night, or morning, or wherever you live. See ya. And we are going to recover Jebediah and his vessel. We got some science. We got a lot of money. So we're gonna up landing struts and a service bay. Very useful, especially the heat shield as well. This could be a problem actually if... Yeah, we're gonna get the heat shield rather than the decouplers, because if we have a bigger booster and a bigger fuel tank. Yes please. And we have 30 points remaining. We can get stability, which is a nose cone, a winglet and a radial decoupler. This is probably the most important part we're gonna get. Different parachutes, radiator panels, landing struts, and a service bay. Very useful, especially the heat shield as well. This could be a problem actually if... Yeah, we're gonna get the heat shield rather than the decouplers, because if we have a faster re-entry from an orbit, I kind of want the heat shield after what I witnessed just now. So we're gonna go for heat shield tech. And we're gonna have to design a rocket. Wait, is this 15? No. We're gonna have to do a rocket that basically is just one big stage, just a little bit bigger than what we had now. And I think with the addition of some boosters, we should be able to do that just fine. I don't want to be here. I want to be here and get some missions. Haul the heat shield into flight. Yeah, absolutely we can do this. We will get some money for just bringing a heat shield. Cool, let's get that. We shall design a new vessel. And this one is going to be a little fatter because it also... Well, the other one carried science already as well, but this one will carry more, damn it. Science, 2 goo pods to you know, carry into space. A antenna. We shouldn't go too overboard because of course we still don't have batteries to provide lasting power. And of course what I should never forget is the heat shield that was promised. No, this is not the heat shield. The heat shield is over here. Is the heat shield also a decoupler? Heat shield jettison. Oh, you can toggle whether it is in the staging. This is pretty awesome. Heat shield jettison. Yeah, let's put that with the parachute, and then the regular decoupler can ditch the rest of the ship. And we can put, which engine is the lightest? We can put the Reliant engine on here because it's fractionally lighter. It doesn't steer as well, but we still have reaction wheels whilst this is on, so we can steer with that. And then we're going to take, let's see, lots and lots of fuel tanks, obviously. Our limit, our height limit is still 20 meters. That's good to know. We could try a 3-stage rocket, which is more expensive and less efficient, but we are working with a height efficiency limit here apparently. And then we can make a bottom stage, which is, let's max out the height on that. This is now too high. Do we need to sneak down the antenna a little bit? Will that matter? Ooh, the mass is still limited at 18 as well. We may actually get into some trouble attaining orbit as well. So this 3-stage plan is now out. We are mass locked. But we have the more powerful engine. I mean, it is more powerful, right? Yeah, it is more powerful. But now we're already fuel locked. I think we are going to have to ditch the science containers. We're not gonna bolt them on sideways. Alright, that saves us some weight. But we're not going to be able to attach solid boosters, which I wanted to do to, you know, get the most efficiency. But maybe this is a good compromise. We have a slightly more efficient rocket. I mean, it is more efficient, yes. This is ISP. It sure as hell is more powerful. 280 to 300, and this is 270 to 320. This one is more efficient. Alright, so this one is going to go on the top stage, where we need efficiency more than brawn. And now we're overweight again. So we're going to do this. I think this is the one. Maybe swapping out the extra engine for more fuel is actually the way to go. But I think this should probably, this will probably do it. How heavy is this? This is 3 tons. No, we're not bringing solid boosters. Here we go. This is do or die. Oh wait, the text thing happened again, where I can't edit it. Oh, I can't edit it. Untitled orbit rocket. That makes it a title, which makes it a paradox, which fuels dreams. So here we go. I've lost my last viewer, so this is definitely the last launch, whether we make it or not. Jebediah, say go, go. We're lifting off slightly faster than before. So this is very ironic. We unlock the vehicle assembly building more better. We now are capable of building a rocket that consists of 255 parts. Oh my god, so many parts. But we also unlock the bigger fuel tanks, drastically reducing the part count of said rocket. And we kinda still really want to make it higher than 20 meters, which still isn't allowed, and also heavier than 18 tons, which also isn't allowed. Now I know I can make an orbital rocket with this. I think what I ought to do is not try a fancy 2-stage thing, but just try a one big noodle of rockets. Because now I'm carrying 1.25 tons of rocket engine. It could be rocket fuel. And even though, yes, it is more efficient to ditch your empty tanks, that probably doesn't counteract the extra fuel. So, even though this is technically slightly better than last time, because this engine is a little bit more powerful, and thus lifts us out of that very slow climb ever so slightly faster, this is probably still not going to work. Because look at the fuel gauge, we are almost empty, and we're not quite close to orbit yet. But we will, as usual, do our cash gaining mission. 1500 meters per second between 54 kilometers and 63 kilometers. That should be attainable by our top stage quite easily. What? Alright, Jebediah, take the controls please. See, that stupid lower stage is being left in the dust of my reliant swiveling engine. It's a little heavier. No, it's a little lighter. It's also a little bit less powerful, but it's also more efficient. So you want the first engine for your lifting needs and this engine for every other need. Now we want to be going horizontal because one, that's the way to orbit and we still want to be optimistic, but also because this will give us a little bit more time to calibrate our speed to the required amount before immediately overshooting. Yeah, we got the achievement. And hey, we also almost got orbit. Let's try and still do it. See, our apoapsis is really high. If we hadn't allowed that to get to 300 kilometers, we might have actually quite easily made orbit. Just a nice 60 kilometer orbit, but because I was busy blabbering and not doing rocket sciencey stuff, that didn't happen. Instead, we're now going to booster our way forward from apoapsis, while keeping a slight eye on the fuel gauge so that we can get back down again if we do accidentally manage orbit. We could manage orbit, but our fuel is literally almost gone. We're gonna leave it till the last 2 drops of fuel. That should be enough to turn us around and brake. So we have 3 drops of fuel remaining now. And I think these bleeping, we have entered orbit. Yes, we have a lot of money before entering orbit. Our periapsis is 77 kilometers. Actually, the whole mission now hinges on the electric charge to turn the ship around, because if that wasn't there, we wouldn't get into a position to brake. Nice, eh? Anyway, we did it. Orbit achieved. Turning around. We're not going to stay in the air, in space, for a few orbits. That's, you know, just wasting time. Jebediah may like it, but yeah, that's not going to happen. I like it, by the way. We're facing the sun, and if I rotate the ship, his in-vehicle camera actually is properly lit. The sun is going around his face. Interior overlay, what's that? Oh, what? You can see him sit there? Oh, how cool is that? That's a nice feature. Alright, time for playing is over. Let's get out of orbit. Full boost. And that was it. Hopefully that puts us out of orbit. 35 kilometers. That may actually require more than 1 braking pass. That's getting it really, really close. But you know, that's what Jebediah is known for after all. Let's get back down to the planet in 1 or multiple pieces, and then we'll see just how close it was. Now what we are going to try and do, we have our electric charge. We're going to position our ship angular towards the planet. This way there is the maximum amount of cross-section exposed to the airflow, which will break us the most. And that's what we want. We want to slow down so we fall out of orbit back to the planet. Now, if I recall, 35 kilometers was just about the edge of a nice controlled re-entry coming from a lunar altitude. But of course all of that could have changed with the different aerodynamics model. The first aerodynamics model in the game was really rudimentary. Basically just looking at the mass of your vessel and its speed, and that would be the drag. applied to all parts, and that now doesn't happen anymore. Now we have actual cross sections, and this capsule is actually heating up a lot. Can we see the heat flow? I kind of don't want to be facing this way anymore. We're only at 50 kilometers, but we're being exposed to quite a lot of heating. I kind of want to give that to the engine, if it doesn't mind. Let's take a crew report from the re-entry plasma. No, it's nothing new. What happens if I go sideways? It doesn't really register on the G meter, but it does register on the heat gauge. So yeah, this system is slightly more realistically implemented, and I'm now getting... we're gonna drop 10 kilometers, maybe not. We're at 40 kilometers. Let's see how far we are going to drop. We're projected to now drop to 31 kilometers. If we dip below, say, 29, I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure we'll enter on this pass, but it will be relatively smooth. We are now... we're decelerating not actually that fast. We could still skip out just barely. It won't. If we dip below, say, 29, I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure we'll enter on this pass, but it will be relatively smooth. We are now... we're decelerating not actually that fast. We could still skip out just barely. It wouldn't be a big orbit. The next one is certainly going to do us in. That's for sure. 30. Now this one, I'll put my money where my mouth is. Actually, I put my mouth where my mouth is. I'm gonna say that we'll just definitely make it on this pass. Look at that. There's like crosses scratched onto these fuel tanks. Probably some quality control by these Kerbals, eh? Not that great. Alright, our engine is now starting to problematically heat up. I think that's what this bar indicates anyway. It means like, hey guy, look out, your ship's on fire. You may want to do something about that. Here. 33. Yeah, we're 28. We're gonna have a super long re-entry. I'm really happy I brought the heat shield now, by the way, because these super long re-entries are dangerous, because even though you spend a lot of time in the relatively thin atmosphere up top in the higher reaches of the atmosphere, you spend so long there that even though the heat of this fireball is lower than it would be with a steeper re-entry, but you spend so long in this fireball that there's actually a lot more time for the heat from the plasma to filter into your capsule, and you actually have a higher chance of burning up. I think we're going to ditch the craft. I'm kind of hesitant, because if I ditch it, I wonder which part of the ship has more resistance to the airflow, if it's just going to keep crashing into me or not. I might just keep it. No, I'm going to ditch it. This is going to explode soon. I don't want to be near those explosions. See, there it goes. And now we're just deploying our own heat shield against this. There it goes. Bye-bye. Entitled Orbit Rocket Debris. Nice. Good naming scheme, space program. Our blader is really strong. Ablative shields work by having material that is like sacrificially vaporized, so they're definitely a one-use item. And this material, by vaporizing, carries away a lot of the heat associated with re-entry, or whatever purpose you're using the heat for. And when the ablator runs out, the shield can't do this anymore, and then basically it's just an insulator, which could still be quite good and delay burning up for a while, but it's definitely gonna soak through them. But while there is a ablator left, it does retain its sort of active cooling mechanism. Hey Griswolf, you're coming back at a very inopportune time, because right after this landing the stream is gonna go off the air for good tonight. But there will be archives, of course. We did in XCOM, we did pretty good. We did a supply raid where we actually, when did you leave? We had to bug out of the mission with the overpass because we suddenly pulled 3 pods. That was pretty terrible. and that caused to spawn an evac. The Sky Ranger got our man out, and then we got a supply raid which went splendidly. Got 2 wounded, but we managed to capture a lot of supplies. And then we did lots of geoscaping, and the next time on the stream we're starting with the second retaliation mission, which should be exciting. So there's a quick update on that. And that's basically all I can give you, because after this splashdown, as I already said, the stream is going off. And I'm gonna do my daily sleeping. So I'm expected at the car dealership tomorrow at some ungodly hour, like 7. Transmit data? Does it still have data? Apparently. Require complete? What the hell is that? Allow partial. Oh, this is a setting. Holy shit. Why? I don't want to choose which packet system my make-believe spaceships use. Alright. Parachutes deployed, and the heat shield has been dropped. Whoa! Why the hell did the parachute not work? That was a curveball. Alright. No, not a new car. It's a scheduled swap of winter for summer tires. I had winter tires, so I could legally drive in Austria and Germany, but they haven't seen snow once. So switching back to the good old summer tires now. Apparently Jebediah died, and yeah, this is career mode, and I think everything was splendid right until the impact. The parachutes deployed as planned. They just didn't fully deploy. Alright, well then that's Jebediah dead. Let's go back to the space center. Oh shit, you can't just pop the parachutes at the last moment. Grisewolf is saying in chat. That makes a lot of sense. Just me as a seasoned KSP player. As long as you have your parachutes out at like the 500 meter mark, you will magically slow down and land safely. Yeah, that doesn't work anymore. Okay, lesson learned by Jebediah's life. Anyway, as I said already, that's it for the stream today. I will try and do this more often, although it is quite a rarity that I have a full evening to just devote to video gaming and streaming, and that's actually a good thing. But every now and again, every once in a while, it's great fun to do this. So subscribe to either my YouTube channel, which should get annotations if I'm streaming, or to the Twitch thing, so that you get notifications and emails whenever I go live with something that has to do with science fiction, usually XCOM, KSP, maybe some indie game, maybe some AAA game that's just out. Anything goes, really, but mostly XCOM and KSP. So I don't know what I can say that I haven't already repeated a million times. Have a good evening, night, morning, or life, whichever you like. See ya. Now I'm just gonna turn off this game, save it, and no, not resume it, save it and quick save, no, stream save, and quit the stream. So thanks for watching, see you later.